Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Leegafinalysis. So let me start today by asking you a simple question. So what is the first impression you get when you come across the term Greek gods or Greek philosophers, beautiful beaches, or is it monuments or holiday destinations, or is it alphabet? But for F&O traders, it may appear as complicated term, concept, or just jargons. Some may find it too complicated to even touch it and end up simply ignoring it. You feel frightened or fearful or too frustrated in the process and somehow try to avoid it. Although many of you want to know about it, but just don't know where to start from and what is the right source to acquire authentic knowledge, yet in a very simple and lucid manner. So here is our friend Chintu, who will come to our rescue and make these complicated terms and concepts simpler for you. Alright? Many of us know this fact that options are not like equity or shares. That is, if there is an increase in the price of the share by say 10 rupees, and if we have 100 shares of that stock, then our profit will be 10 into 100, that is rupees 1000. As we have mentioned in the previous videos of this series, that scenario is a bit different in case of options. Since these are derivative products, there is no one-to-one relationship between the price of the underlying and the premium of the options, but it is determined by the multitude of factors like time to expiry, volatility, price of the underlying, etc., which is denoted by the term called Greeks. So in this video and through upcoming few videos, we will try to learn these Greeks in the most simplest way, and we'll try to be comfortable enough so that we can take trade in Nifty, Bank Nifty and stock options with ease. Greeks are the most feared and misunderstood concepts in the F&O segment. Many feel it is unnecessary to know Greeks and straight away jump into the F&O trading without even understanding any of these terms. Others fear so much and are so apprehensive about the Greeks that they believe it is useless to understand them and decide to stay away from F&O segment altogether. The truth is, Greeks are very much important for F&O segment. You can ignore and straight away jump into it. And it is also true that it may be complicated for some of you, but simply ignoring it and not knowing it altogether can be even more detrimental. For example, even if you have bought a call option, that is, you think you will profit when the market moves up, and even if market moves up, still you may end up losing money and you will be totally perplexed. How is that possible? That is all about Greeks. Therefore, you can't simply ignore it. And it being a complicated concept can never be an excuse for losing out your hard-earned money. Alright? The whole purpose of this series is to make these complicated terms and concepts related to option as simple and fun as possible. Good enough for you to trade comfortably and be a profitable trader. Therefore, we have devised this unique case study of Chintu Pass Ho Gaya, which we have been using throughout this entire series of videos on options and will continue to use them further in few more upcoming videos as well. So far, we have already made you understand strike price, spot price, moneyness, that is ITM, ATM and OTM, call and put options with simplicity. And you would realize how easy it is to understand even Greeks as well with the same Chintu's example. So, all set? Alright then, without any further ado, let us get started with Leega's financial analysis, Finalysis. This is the fifth video of very important series on option basics. The other four have been uploaded on the channel Leegafinalysis under the playlist Options Basic. The link is there in the I button above and also mentioned in the description box below. So go there and check out this very important series where I have explained all the concepts in a very simple and lucid manner with easy to understand examples. These videos are quite important for you because the others paid courses charge thousands of rupees for these concepts. And here at the Leega, we are offering you just for free. Alright then, in this video, we will delve deeper into the concept of option Greeks. So let's move on. So those who say Greeks are a bit complicated, well, I would say you are not totally wrong. So this is how options Greek and its premium are calculated in real life. Yeah, I know it's a bit complicated, but don't worry, I'll make it simple and cogent for you. So Greeks are values that are outcome of a complicated mathematical calculation, which is also famously known as Black-Scholes formula. So first try to understand how important or famous is this formula. So these are gentlemen, Mr. Fisher Black and Marion Scholes, who gave this famous formula in 1968, for which they were awarded Nobel Prize in the economics. So it is important, right? So if you want to understand this complicated formula in a very simple and easy way, then try to visualize it as a machine in which we input some values that goes into the machine, and then it gives us two important output, that is premium and Greeks of an option. Alright, these inputs that are 5 values, which is a spot value, strike price, time to maturity, rate of interest, volatility. This goes into this Black-Scholes machine, and the output that we get in the end is options premium and options Greek. Alright, so in nutshell, this complicated mathematical formula simply does is that it takes 5 input, which are these values, and transform them into useful output, which is quite useful for option traders. Alright, simplified. Alright then, as we know, premiums are nothing but the traded value of any options. But when we talk about the Greeks, these are the 5 main Greeks that we generally are familiar with: delta, gamma, vega, theta and rho. So these are generally 5 quite commonly known Greeks. So out of these 4, delta, vega, theta and rho are first order Greeks. For options, these 5 are not the only Greeks, but there are second orders and even third order Greeks as well. Alright, the higher order Greeks are very nuanced and are generally used by scholars and very specialized fund managers and financial institutions. As a trader, we are concerned mainly about 4 first order Greeks, that is delta, theta, vega and rho, and a second order Greek, that is gamma. And out of these 5 also, we will restrict our discussion to just 3 most important ones. What are they? Delta, theta and vega. Our intention here is to know Greeks to the extent where we can easily become a smart and profitable trader. Alright? In this video, we will talk about the first Greek, that is delta. So delta is the rate of change in price of an option with a change in the spot price of underlying. So if we talk in terms of Nifty, if the delta of an option is 0.5, then if Nifty moves by 100 points, then that option will move by 50 points. That is 0.5 into 100. That is 50 points. We know that there is no one-to-one relationship between the price of the underlying and the premium of the option. That means if Nifty moves by 100 points, then the ATM, OTM and ITM option premiums will move differently. And how much they will move is determined by delta. So here in this slide you can see for calls options, delta for OTM, ATM and ITM options are different. The delta for the options vary between 0 to 1. It is lower for the OTM options and it goes on increasing towards the ITM options. And it is somewhat near to 0.5 for the ATM options. Alright? Did not understand? No problem. Let's try to understand in a very simple way. If I were to give you a crude example, then try to understand it in this way. We have all seen water being boiled, right? We keep a kettle full of water on the burner or gas stove and observe it. What happens? The water starts getting warmer, right? But is there one-to-one correlation between the rise of the temperature of water and the temperature of the gas burner? The answer is no. By 1 degree increase in the gas burner's temperature, the temperature of water may not increase by exactly 1 degree, but it depends on multiple other factors. What is the material of the kettle? How much is the ambient temperature? Whether it is winter or summer? What is the ambient pressure? Etc. But one thing is clear, that there is a linear relationship between the burner temperature and the water temperature. Alright? Similarly, there is a linear relationship between the change of the price of the underlying and the premium of the options. But how much will be the change in the premium with a change of underlying will be decided by other factors or other Greeks. Alright? The relationship may be positive and negative also. So right now we saw an example of boiling water that is similar to the case of call options, where the price increases with increase in the value of the underlying. Alright? But what happens in the case of AC or fridge? Cooling increases with increase in the power consumption. So with the increase in the power consumption, there is a decrease in the temperature. So there is a negative relationship. Alright? So this can be loosely correlated to put options. So there is an inverse relationship between the price of the underlying and the put options. Alright? So with these two very simple examples, I hope that now things might be getting clear. Alright? Now let us try to understand the same on option chain, because in real life this is how we will be using it while trading, and at the end of the day that is our whole intention. Alright? So as we have seen, delta calculation is a complicated process, but good thing is that you don't have to do it all by yourself. So there are a number of sites that I have already mentioned in the videos which gives you ready-made Greeks values. Alright? So this is one of those sites that is free and we can use it to get the delta's value. Alright? So we will go to option chain and here option Greeks. So this is where Nifty is right now. So this is the ATM value and you can see the delta here is near to 0.5. Here it is being shown in percentage. The same if you try to see in the Sensible website, we will see the delta is near to 0.47 for the puts and 0.53 for the calls for ATM. Alright. So as I have shown you earlier, the value of delta goes on decreasing as we go towards the OTM for the calls options, and it goes on increasing for the item values for the calls options, and the reverse is true for the delta for the put option. So with every increase in the strike price, the value of the delta will go on increasing for the put options, while every decrease there will be decrease in the delta for the put options. Alright, the same is depicted here in this slide. So for the calls option, as the strike prices increases, delta decreases. So this is the graph for the delta for call and put options. For call option, as we go from the OTM to the ITM, the value of the delta increases. Alright, and reverse is the case with put options. As we go from the OTM towards the ITM, the value of the delta decreases. Alright, if you keep this graph's image in your mind, you will be very easily able to establish the relationship between the price of the options and the movement of the underlying. Is it getting a bit technical and complicated? Yeah? So, Mr. Chintu, where are you? Let's understand this concept with the help of Chintu's marks. Alright? So, in this video, I have explained the concept of moneyness and had told you all about the OTMs, ITMs and ATMs. I told you that OTMs means a safe zone for Chintu, whereas ATM and further ITM are risky zone for Chintu to pass the exam. The basis for the premium price for LIC in the case of Chintu is his probability of failing in the exam. Higher the chance, higher the risk, therefore higher would be the premium charged. Alright, suppose the pass marks for Chintu is 60 and he is getting the heads score of 75 right now, 1 week before the exam, then his mark is in OTM, that is safe zone, and hence chances of his failing the exam is less. So the delta will be less. Remember, lesser the risk, lower is the premium, and reverse would be the case for the put. Alright. Now with these examples and with the help of option chain, I believe that you would have understood the concept of delta. Now the pertinent question is, what is the use of this Greek delta? Why should we even study it? Actually, there are several advantages associated with studying Greeks, particularly for the delta. It gives us a lot of information. So what are they? The first one is that it gives us probability of a strike falling in the ITM at the expiry. So if we go to website, we see that 0.5 delta means 50% chance of this strike price falling in the ITM at the expiry. Alright. Similarly, if we go to Opstra's website, here the delta is shown in terms of percentage. So this delta means there is 53% chance for this strike of the call option to fall in the ITM at the expiry. Whereas for the put, it is 46% chance to fall in the ITM, provided all the factors remain same. Alright. So in terms of Chintu, it shows the probability of his failing in the exam. And as you know, higher the probability, higher is going to be the premium. So if his marks is 75, his chances are less because his marks is in OTM. And so OTM prices for the calls are going to be lower. Let's look at the same in the option chain. As you can see, as we go towards the OTM for the call option, the delta decreases, and correspondingly prices for those options also goes on decreasing. So as we move in the money, the prices increases because delta also increases. So Greek delta helps in understanding the probability of a strike falling in ITM at the expiry, provided other conditions and other Greeks, particularly theta and vega, remains constant for the period. Alright. Now the second benefit of Greek delta is that it helps us in deciding which option to buy and which one to sell. Alright. For buyers, it is always advisable to buy slightly in the money option. So if I go to option chain, so if I am a call buyer, I would buy slightly in the money options where the delta is more than 0.5. And for the seller, it is always advisable to sell slightly out of the money options whose delta is gonna be lower than 0.5. The reason behind this is not just delta, but combination of other Greeks as well, particularly theta and vega. So I will touch upon these concepts again when I will explain these Greeks later on. Alright. Now the next one is that it also helps us in creating some of these strategies, particularly delta neutral strategies. For option sellers, since they bear more risk, therefore they have to do more analysis in order to deploy their strategies. Some of the important strategies I will discuss when I will finish explaining the basics of options as well as Greeks. Alright. Just briefly understand that in delta neutral strategies, we sell or buy the options keeping in mind that our delta remains 0. Now, as we know that for call options, the delta is positive, whereas for the put option, the delta is negative. Therefore, in this strategy, we sell one call option. Say, if you want to sell the call with delta 0.28, then we'll also sell one put option with similar delta having negative somewhat this value. So if we look at the option chain, so this could be the put option that I can sell in combination with the call option to make my delta neutral strategies. So selling one 16,900 call option and 16,550 put option will result in a delta neutral strategy that is nothing but a triangle. And if you do the same at the money, then it is nothing but a straddle. Alright. So you are learning a lot of strategies right now. The last advantage of learning Greek delta is that it vaguely helps in deciding the range of the market as well. So at the money, if we add the value of premiums of call and put of the ATM strike prices, which comes out here to be roughly around 250. So 250 upwards and 250 downwards is going to be the range of market for this expiry, provided, remember, all the factors going to remain constant, particularly theta and vega for the entire expiry. So if there is not much an increase in the volatility in the market, then we can safely assume that the market is going to remain between the range 16,450, which is 250 points downward, and 16,950, that is 250 points upward for this expiry, provided other factors remain constant or under the control. Alright. Isn't that interesting? And now you would have started realizing the use of Greek delta and how important it is. Alright, so that's all about the Greek delta. So these are some of the strategies and concepts related to options for which a lot of trainers around would charge you in thousands, which is being provided at the Leega free of cost for you all. Alright, I hope you would have liked the video and would have learned something out of this. If you have done so, do like, share and subscribe the channel, and do let us know your thoughts and queries by writing in the comment box below. Watch out other videos in the series Options Basics and spread these videos to as many people as you can, because Leega needs your support and love to grow. Alright, on that note, I am signing off. Do take care of yourself and your loved ones. Stay healthy, stay happy. Bye bye.